Not too long ago, there was a lot of excitement around plant-based meat. Many believed it could transform the way we eat. Instead of using animals, companies were creating burgers, sausages, and nuggets from plants. And they tasted surprisingly close to real meat. These products were praised for being healthier, more eco-friendly, and cruelty-free. Leading this plant-based revolution was a company called Beyond Meat, founded in 2009 by Ethan Brown. Ethan grew up on a farm and often wondered why we loved some animals as pets but raised others for food. This question stayed with him into adulthood. After earning a degree in business and working in the energy sector, Ethan decided to follow his passion for solving environmental and ethical problems. He connected with scientists who had been researching how to replicate the taste and texture of meat using only plant ingredients. Together, they had a vision: meat made from plants, not animals. Ethan used his own savings to license their technology and officially launch Beyond Meat. His goal wasn't just to create another veggie burger. He wanted to reinvent meat entirely. And for a while, it looked like the world was ready for it. The rise of Beyond Meat. The company launched its first product, chicken-free strips, in 2012, sold in select Whole Foods stores. Over the next few years, Beyond Meat expanded rapidly, creating burgers, sausages, and ground meat alternatives. Their products made it to big-name grocery stores, restaurants, and fast food chains. In 2016, the Beyond Burger became a huge hit. Unlike veggie burgers of the past, this one looked, cooked, and even bled like real beef. It was a game changer. Celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and Bill Gates invested. Big brands started selling Beyond Meat products. The company was named one of the most innovative in the world. In 2019, Beyond Meat went public on the stock market, and it was one of the most successful IPOs, initial public offerings, in years. Its stock price jumped quickly, and at one point, the company was worth over $12 billion. It seemed like plant-based meat was the future, and Beyond Meat was leading the way. But then, something changed. Today, Beyond Meat is in trouble. Its stock has dropped by over 95%. Sales are down. Stores are removing products from shelves. And public interest? It's nowhere near what it once was. So what happened? How did a company that seemed unstoppable begin to fall apart? Let's take a closer look. The rise of competition. In the beginning, Beyond Meat had the plant-based meat market mostly to itself. But as its popularity grew, competitors quickly entered the scene. In 2016, Impossible Foods introduced its Impossible Burger, using soy protein and a key ingredient called heme to replicate the taste of meat. It became a hit, especially after Burger King launched the Impossible Whopper, bringing massive attention to plant-based options. Soon, other major food players jumped in. Nestlé came out with its Awesome Burger. Tyson Foods, a giant in traditional meat, rolled out its own plant-based products. Kellogg's Morningstar Farms rebranded and expanded with a new line called Incogmeato. Suddenly, Beyond Meat wasn't the only game in town. Consumers had choices, and lots of them. Some brands were more affordable, others claimed to be healthier, and some simply had better marketing strategies. Retail shelves and restaurant menus became more competitive, and Beyond Meat's once dominant position began to fade. Market share slipped as new challengers gained ground. What was once a novelty became a crowded space. For Beyond Meat, staying ahead became much harder, and the pressure was only just beginning. Price problems. One of the biggest issues Beyond Meat faced was its high price. Although it's made from plants, it often costs more than real meat, sometimes even twice as much. That pricing may have worked when plant-based meat was a novelty, but with rising inflation and economic pressure, consumers are watching every dollar. Most shoppers simply choose the more affordable option, traditional meat. Beyond Meat tried to market itself as a premium, eco-conscious alternative, but when wallets are tight, price matters more than purpose. At the same time, their production costs increased, from sourcing ingredients to manufacturing. Instead of lowering prices to stay competitive, Beyond Meat actually raised prices to protect its profit margins. This backfired. The higher prices pushed away budget-conscious consumers, and the company saw a sharp drop in sales. In short, Beyond Meat's price strategy didn't match the times, and it hurt them badly. No profits, just losses. Since day one, Beyond Meat has never made a profit. They poured millions into product development, factory expansion, and marketing. That's normal for a growing company, but years later, they were still spending far more than they earned. By 2024, Beyond Meat had racked up over $1.2 billion in losses and carried more than $1 billion in debt. Meanwhile, sales were slowing, making it even harder to pay off what they owed. Investors started to worry. They expected the company to turn things around, but the numbers kept getting worse. As confidence dropped, so did Beyond Meat's stock. Price, once a Wall Street favorite, without consistent profits or a clear path to recovery, the company's future looked uncertain. The lack of earnings wasn't just a short-term issue, it became a long-term red flag. And in the world of business, that's a dangerous place to be. Health concerns and confusion. One of Beyond Meat's main selling points was health. They said their products were better than red meat, which is linked to heart disease and cancer. But that message has become more confusing over time. Yes, plant-based meats avoid cholesterol and some of the harmful fats in animal meat, but they're also highly processed and often contain a lot of sodium. Some consumers began to wonder if this was really the healthier choice. Non-profit groups ran ads showing long lists of unfamiliar ingredients found in these products. Critics claimed plant-based meats were fake food or chemical burgers. In 2024, Beyond Meat responded by releasing a fourth-generation burger. This one used avocado oil instead of canola, with less saturated fat and salt. But by then, public trust had already been shaken. Reputation and scandals. Beyond Meat also faced several scandals that hurt its image. In 2022, their chief operating officer was arrested for biting someone's nose during a road rage incident, a bizarre and widely reported story. Later that year, news broke that some of Beyond Meat's production facilities had unclean conditions, with reports of mold, bacteria, and poor safety. In 2024, they paid $7.5 million to settle a lawsuit claiming they overstated the amount of protein in their products. None of these incidents alone would destroy a company, but together, they created a cloud of negativity. For a brand built on ethics and clean eating, this was especially damaging. Overhype and reality. Plant-based meat is an amazing idea. The concept of eating something that tastes like meat without the animals is attractive to many people. But in reality, the products never fully matched the hype. They didn't taste exactly like real meat. They were expensive. They were still processed. And not everyone was convinced they were actually healthier. In short, Beyond Meat may have promised too much, too fast. Their early success made people believe we were entering a new era of food. But as time passed, it became clear that these products were just one option, not the future for everyone. A shift in strategy. In 2024, Beyond Meat released a new product called Beyond Sun Sausage. But unlike their other products, this one didn't try to taste like meat. Instead, it focused on being a unique, tasty plant-based food in its own category. This shift suggests the company may be rethinking its original vision. Maybe the goal isn't to copy meat anymore, but to offer something different. Whether this change will help the company survive remains to be seen. So, what's next? Beyond Meat was once one of the most exciting food companies in the world. It promised healthier diets, better treatment of animals, and solutions to climate problems. It started a revolution in how we think about meat, but now it's struggling to stay afloat. Too many competitors, too many losses, too much confusion, and maybe too much hype. So what do you think? Will Beyond Meat bounce back? Or has its time passed? Will people ever fully embrace plant-based meats? Or will they remain a niche choice for a small group of consumers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.